All right, this clip is going down in the history books. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and one of Trump's closest stooges just got wrecked by Jake Tapper live on CNN. This reads, Jake Tapper just took Mike Johnson to the woodshed after Johnson tries to claim that Trump never said he would use the military on U.S. citizens. Tapper plays the clip, corrects him, and then concludes the interview with, quote, "It's like you were answering questions from a completely different interviewer." Here is the entire segment of Speaker of the House Mike Johnson on CNN. It already has 6,000 likes. Without further ado, let's jump in. All that I ask from you is to leave a like on the video, make sure you drop some blue hearts, and let's break down Mike Johnson floundering live on CNN.
Donald Trump repeatedly referred to prominent Democrats and others on the left in the United States, American citizens, as, quote, the enemy from within, unquote. And he suggested as president he would want to use the National Guard or military against them. Let me play some of that for our viewers.
Boom.
The bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military, because they can't let that happen.
He clearly says right there, we have some very sick radical left lunatics and they need to be handled by the National Guard, potentially. There is no way to work around that, but Mike Johnson tries to act like that wasn't just said in this clip.
One of the first things you did when you joined Congress was to create the Honor and Civility Caucus. Does wanting to use the military against political opponents, would that pass muster with the Civility Caucus?
That's not... Jake, you know that's not what he's talking about there. What he's talking about is marauding gangs of dangerous, violent people who are destroying public property.
He talked about Adam
and
Schiff
threatening
and the Pelosi's.
Other American citizens.
He's not talking. I mean, Governor Youngkin tried this with me too. That's not. He was very clear. Let me play, because he was asked about this later on, because Fox always likes to give Donald Trump an opportunity to clean it up, and he always says, "No, I said what I meant." Here's what he said when asked about it the next day.
It is the enemy from within, and they're very dangerous. They're Marxists and communists and fascists, and they're sick. I use a guy like Adam Schiff because they made up the Russia hoax. It took 2 years to solve the problem. Absolutely nothing was done wrong, et cetera, et cetera. They're dangerous for our country. We have China, we have Russia, we have all these countries. If you have a smart president, they can all be handled.
This dude just doubled down. He tripled down and threw a bombshell in there. They're Marxists, Democrats, enemies from within. And when he says the enemy from within, keep in mind that is an ever-changing definition that basically means anybody who disagrees with him. He names Adam Schiff by name. So the fact that he's not talking about Democrats when he says mobilizing the National Guard is false, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. But also, the enemy from within could be your neighbors, could be your family, could be anybody who wants reproductive health care, anybody who disagrees with Trump and gets in his way, like Adam Schiff, one of the sweetest people ever. I've met Adam Schiff, and Donald Trump says he's this terrible Marxist, communist, Democrat. I don't know.
The more difficult are, the Pelosi's, these people, they're so sick and they're so evil.
He even says the Pelosi's are getting more difficult. He says, the more difficult they get, and then he doesn't finish. Let's listen to what happens.
That's what he's talking about, using the U.S. military against, not marauding gangs of Venezuelan.
Wait a minute.
Adam
Hold on.
Schiff, Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul. So let me just say, if a Democratic presidential candidate said that you and your wife were evil and that the military should be used against you, I would say that's disgusting.
That is a very, very good question, and the annoying thing is Republicans will play defense for Donald Trump until he runs this country off of a cliff. Now, I'm about to finish this clip in 1 second, but I just want to say there is a reality where Donald Trump gets back into the White House, gets a second term, and immediately enacts his Schedule F executive orders. Project 2025 says the first thing he needs to do is fill the government with his loyalists via the Schedule F executive order. This isn't some crazy conspiracy theory. Trump did this same executive order in his first term. Biden removed it. Trump wants to do it again. The Schedule F executive order says you can hire and fire civil servants at will, not based on merit or skill, but based on loyalty. So there is a reality where Donald Trump gets back into office, fills the institutions with all of his loyalists, and then the Supreme Court begins to give him orders. Different courts begin to give him orders, and Trump begins to defy those orders. He defies Supreme Court orders. He runs our country into where Hungary is with Viktor Orban because it gets to a point point where the Supreme Court begins to curtail their behavior to fit Donald Trump's actions, because the Supreme Court loses power if the president's not listening, if other Republicans aren't listening. My broader point is here. While Donald Trump did all of this, Mike Johnson would still be going on Fox News, still be going on CNN, and spinning it just like he is now. Donald Trump could go out there and say we should shoot Nancy Pelosi in the streets. Donald Trump could go out there and defy our Supreme Court, as he has done before. He defied other court orders, and Mike Johnson would continue to gaslight the American people and try to make people think that Democrats were the ones freaking out. And the scary part is, most Americans wouldn't know who to believe. Let me say that again. Most American citizens wouldn't know whether they should believe Jake Tapper. Do they believe Mike Johnson? Do they believe Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton? I don't know. They've heard a lot of bad things about Hillary Clinton over the years, but who do they believe? That's the question.
Well, thank you. And some have said that about us because they don't like my politics. I did not hear President Trump in that clip say he's going to sic the military on Adam Schiff. That's not what he's saying. You got two different clips in two different contexts. What President Trump is talking about is that they have been attacking and maligning him from the day he came down that golden escalator. Everybody knows that's true. In 2015, 2016, that's when this began. He's been the most attacked, maligned political figure in U.S. history. They've tried to kill him twice in the last few months.
Who's they?
This is real, and he feels that acutely. And Jake, you would too.
They?
If you were under attack like he is all the time, every day. I mean Iran, who has assassination attempts out against him.
But that's not
crazy, dangerous people
Adam
in the
Schiff
country who
and Nancy
get on
Pelosi are not
rooftops and
trying to
take shots.
assassinate Donald Trump. I mean, there's this conflation of anybody.
They're not, Jake. They're not. But the political attacks have been relentless, and they have been baseless, and they made up the Russian collusion hoax, and they went after him and have been going after him ever since.
How does this have anything to do with the question at hand? We still have more to the clip, but I do want to say really quickly, I mean, the reason why Donald Trump gets quote-unquote attacked by the media is because he relentlessly lies, so that causes the media to disproportionately cover his lies and try to correct him. People like us. The reason why I'm not showing clip after clip of Kamala Harris, which we're about to play a clip of Obama and Kamala in just 1 second, but it's because Obama's not going to go on stage and spread dangerous lies that divide the American people that we have to course correct. When Donald Trump says the election is stolen, when Donald Trump tells lies about Haitian migrants, the onus becomes on American citizens like you and I to begin correcting that information in the streets. So I'm sure most of you guys, some of you guys have friends who are MAGA sympathetic and they think that Haitian migrants are doing blah, 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 and you've had to correct them. You've had to correct them on that or Ukraine. The onus is on us to cover this stuff. So just taking a step back, my broader point is the media doesn't attack Trump. The media corrects Trump's insane amount of lies. When he's constantly carpet bombing the information landscape with stuff that's not true, yeah, the media is going to call him out. I mean, the other day, Donald Trump gave the game away when he referred to the media as attacking Harvey Weinstein or going after him hard. That's what Mike Johnson is doing here. They went after Trump hard because of the Access Hollywood tapes. Sorry, I'll finish it now.
They tried to impeach him twice. I mean, they've done real damage in the American psyche. What I'm talking about is the political attacks that are so over the top. Kamala Harris has used language saying he's so dangerous to the country. I mean, I've had colleagues in the House say he must be eliminated. He must be extinguished.
He's literally talking about
this stuff is over the top.
You know, against Democrats. I mean, he's literally talking.
No, he's not. No,
yes, he is.
No, he's not, Jake. No, he's not. No, he's talking about using the National Guard and the military to keep the peace in our streets. In the summer of 2020, that my Democrat colleagues call the summer of love, it was crazy. It was mayhem, and Democratic progressive mayors and governors allowed it to go on, including Tim Walz, who allowed Minneapolis to burn, and it's still not rebuilt. Look, Trump is talking about restoring law and order, and I'm telling you, you can mock it. People in the media can mock it, but that resonates with the American people. They are sick of being afraid on the streets of their cities. Donald Trump can bring order back to the chaos.
Donald Trump is the chaos. How is Donald Trump going to bring law and order when he's the one that is disorderly? He is the one that wants to tear our institutions down and does that by eroding norms and being abrasive. And I want to point out something that I'm not sure many other people will notice during this interview. So, something that happens a lot, and Jake Tapper points this out, is that Speaker of the House Mike Johnson said they are trying to kill Donald Trump. And Jake Tapper says, who is they? Who is they? He repeats it a third time, and then Mike Johnson says they means Iran. So, Mike Johnson used this vague they, and when pressed on it, he said Iran. But then, a second ago, Literally a second ago in this interview, he said they tried to impeach him. They said he should be eliminated. So then he reuses that same vague they. Is he talking about Iran? No, he's talking about the Democrats. So he uses they in an interchangeable way. And it's that slick political doublespeak that MAGA Republicans are so good at. And when I say good, I put that in quotes. It's very, very deceptive. But he says they and uses it in an interchangeable way. Also, he says Tim Walz allowed Minneapolis to burn. Wrong. Donald Trump called Tim Walz and said, hey, you're doing a great job.
They know that. So they're willing to give a little on his, social media posts and some fun language he uses at rallies.
He called January 6th a day of love. He said that the January 6th criminals, the prisoners who violently attacked your place of work, he compared them to the victims of Japanese internment camps. And that guy is in favor of law and order?
Yes, President Trump had and kept law and order. When he says at the campaign rallies that
Except on
we
January
didn't have
6th.
hot wars around the globe during his administration. No, look, he's right. Russia did not invade Ukraine under his watch. Israel was not attacked viciously by Iran and its proxies because they were afraid to do so under that commander-in-chief, under President Trump. They're not afraid right now. Our allies are nervous. Our enemies are empowered because they see an opportunity. The only person that they fear less, our enemies abroad, the only person they fear less than Joe Biden is Kamala Harris. At the end of the day, when you go into the ballot box, I would just encourage everybody, ask yourself quietly, are you comfortable with Kamala Harris being the commander-in-chief of the U.S. Armed Forces at the most dangerous moment since World War II? She could not handle that. Our enemies would have an opportunity there, and people think about those things, and that's why they're going to vote for Donald Trump.
It's like
that's why he's going to win and be reelected president.
Answering questions from a completely different interviewer. But Speaker Johnson, I appreciate
It was. Jake Tapper said it perfectly right there. It was like Speaker of the House Mike Johnson was answering questions from a completely different interview. He was asked about Donald Trump's rhetoric, and he said the Democrats are too divisive. He was asked again about Donald Trump's rhetoric, and he said there are no new wars. Just completely disjointed stuff. That's why I want to end this video off on a palate cleanser. Barack Obama, former President Obama, destroyed Donald Trump, and this video is going viral. It has 2.2 million views, 40,000 likes. Let's listen to what Obama has to say.
Now, I got some more points. If you challenge Donald Trump or his VP nominee, Vance, if you challenge them on, well, these concepts don't seem to make much sense and nobody really understands them and the economists tell you they're not going to work. If you challenge them, they'll fall back on one answer. It does not matter what it is. Housing, healthcare, education, paying for the bills. One answer. Blame the immigrants. Don't boo. What'd I tell you? He wants you to believe that if you elect him, he will just round up whoever he wants and ship them out and all your problems will be solved. Now, let me tell you something, because I've been working on this for a long time. We have a real issue at the border. We are a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. We have to make sure the system works the way it's supposed to so that we've got legal immigration, which built our nation, where we've got folks like the DACA folks that I worked on behalf of to make sure that they grew up here, that we give them pathways to citizenship. But we also have to have an orderly border. We have to have it fair. There's nothing. That's the truth. We have to fix some aspects of it that are broken. Sí se puede. But when I hear Donald Trump talk, I keep on. He's very quick to say to Kamala, "Well, you were vice president 4 years, dude. You were president for 4 years."
Amazingly well said by President Obama. That got me hyped up. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like. Have a great rest of your day, and peace out.